Well, the COVID-19 pandemic has had a major effect on those suffering with the virus, their family and friends, and the medical workers trying to help them. But what about the people giving religious and spiritual counseling to all involved? Our Alan Casper talked with East Texas chaplains from St. Luke's and Lufkin, as well as Christus Trinity Mother Francis and Tyler, about the challenges the virus has created for them and how they've been dealing with the crisis of the last year.
There is no doubt that pandemic brought different dimension of how we are serving people. And I think that as chaplains, we have never been as needed as right now.
It required us to come up with new ways of being able to connect with people, to help people know that they're loved, to find ways to help them feel basically as if they're being hugged, even though people can't come and necessarily physically hug them.
Nothing can replace face-to-face, sitting knee to knee and sharing eye to eye.
The separation, I think, is the most difficult, that people cannot be together. There is a pain associated with it when people will remember their loved ones that they could not be in the room. It has influence on all of us, patients, families, doctors, nurses, supporting staff, everybody.
While one of our core responsibilities, of course, to take care of a patient, actually a chaplain's main responsibility is to care for the actual caregivers themselves. So I would say during the height of the COVID pandemic, we see between 30 to 60 staff members a week for just moral, emotional, spiritual support. And we fully anticipate on those numbers being the same throughout this next wave.
There is a stress that comes on as we've seen the loss of life that we've seen and seeing the grief that people have.
Days where there are more bad news than good, you do wear that, you do take that home with you. And one of the things that becomes easy over time is you can fail to acknowledge the reality or the severity of what you just experienced, even as a chaplain. We're fortunate enough to be a part of this bigger network. Each of our chaplains have what's called a day with God each month, where they're supposed to just get off the property, go on a personal retreat and just kind of reconnect and fuel their tank, so to speak.
The hospitals throughout East Texas employ numerous chaplains, many of which are volunteer, and they're available to patients, their families, and the hospital staff 24/7. We thank them for their service.